All right, let's dive in. We're about to peel back the layers of one of the most chilling, most unsettling stories in all of American literature, Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper.
So right from the get-go, our narrator, she knows something is off. This quote, it's one of the first things she tells us, and boy does it set the tone. It's this creeping feeling of unease, you know? She can't put her finger on it, but we are definitely about to find out what it is.
Okay, so let's get into it. Who are we dealing with? Our narrator is a young woman, a new mother, and she's struggling. Her husband, John, who happens to be a doctor, just brushes it off as nervous depression. And his solution, well, it's not what you'd think. It's not about helping her, it's about controlling her.
And here it is, the whole problem in a nutshell. You've got John, with his very clinical, very dismissive, I'm the doctor I know best attitude. And then you have her, and she knows herself. She's basically saying, hey, I think I need to do something, to work, to use my brain. But nope, her voice, her own understanding of her needs is just completely shut down, right from the very beginning.
And get this, the rest cure was a real thing. This wasn't just made up for the story. The whole idea in the 19th century was that women with nervous disorders just had their brains turned on too high. So the solution was to turn them off completely. Isolate them, forbid them from thinking, writing, anything. But for our narrator, this cure is about to become the disease. It's literally a recipe for disaster.
Wow, just listen to that line. John laughs at me. Of course, but one expects that in marriage. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It's not just that he's laughing at her, it's that she sees it as normal. It just shows you the cage she's in. It's not just the illness, it's the marriage itself that's trapping her.
Okay, so let's talk about where all of this goes down. John takes them to this big, isolated house for the summer. Sounds nice, right? But here's the thing. He chooses their room. And he doesn't pick a nice, airy room downstairs. No, he puts her in the old nursery way up at the top of the house. And this room, well, it's about to become her whole universe.
So let's really look at this room. We're talking windows with bars on them, weird rings bolted into the walls, the floor is all scratched and torn up, and the bed. The bed is nailed to the floor. Come on, this is not a recovery room. This is a cell. You just get the feeling that something awful has gone down here before. Everything about it just screams, you're not getting out.
And then we meet the wallpaper. This is where everything starts to spiral. She has nothing else to look at, so her entire world becomes this paper. And the color, oh, the color. It's not a happy yellow. She calls it repellent, revolting, unclean. It's this sickly, gross yellow that perfectly matches the sickness she feels growing inside her.
And it's not just the color, it's the pattern itself. It's designed to drive you crazy. It's just wrong. The lines don't make sense. She describes it so vividly, curves that commit suicide, that just dive off at outrageous angles. This isn't just bad design, you know? It feels like it's actively messing with her, a perfect reflection of the chaos building up in her own head.
And this is where it gets really, really creepy. She starts to see things in the pattern. Specifically, a spot that looks like a broken neck and two huge eyes just staring at her. Can you imagine? The thing covering your walls is now watching you. It's gone from being ugly paper to being this menacing presence in the room with her. So, what happens when you're locked in a room with nothing to do? No books, no writing, no one to talk to. Your mind is going to grab onto something, right? For her, that something is the wallpaper. That initial disgust, that hatred for it, it starts to change into something else. It becomes a total, all-consuming obsession.
You can actually watch her mind break down in these clear stages. First, she just hates it. She's trying to figure out the crazy pattern. Then she starts to see something behind it, like a shadow. Slowly, that shadow takes shape. It becomes a woman crawling around back there. And then the final piece clicks into place. The front pattern, the ugly design, it's actually bars. The wallpaper isn't just a pattern, it's a prison. And that woman inside, well, she's starting to look awfully familiar.
And everything changes at night. The moonlight hits the wall and suddenly, boom, the confusing outer pattern becomes a set of prison bars. And the woman behind them isn't hiding anymore. She's active. She's shaking the bars, trying to escape. In the light of day, she's trapped and hidden, but at night, she fights back. The symbolism is just, wow, so powerful. And then it gets worse. The wallpaper starts to
leak out of the room. Not literally, but she starts to smell it. Everywhere. This yellow smell. It's on her clothes, it's in her hair. Even when she goes outside, she can't get away from it. The prison is no longer just the room, it's her whole world. There is literally no escape.
So we're reaching the end of the summer and the end of her rope. At this point, the line between our narrator and the woman in the wallpaper, it's completely gone. They are one and the same. And she comes to a decision. She has to free that woman, which of course means she has to free herself.
And this is her big move, her final act of rebellion. She locks the door from the inside and throws the key out the window. For the very first time in this whole story, she is in control of her space. She's not just a prisoner anymore, she's the warden. And she's got one mission, to destroy that wallpaper and set the woman free.
So here it is, the final scene. John comes back, he can't get in, and he finally has to break down the door. And what he sees on the other side, it just shatters him. The calm, cool, collected doctor who had an answer for everything, he just breaks. He completely loses it.
And then she says it. One of the most famous, most chilling lines in all of literature. I've got out at last. In her mind, it's complete victory. She is the woman from the wallpaper, and she's finally free. It's this moment of absolute triumph that is also a moment of absolute madness. She won the battle, but she lost her mind to do it.
And John, the man in charge, the one who knew best, he faints, just completely passes out on the floor. And the story ends with her creeping around the room and having to creep right over his body again and again. Talk about a power shift. The man who locked her up is now just an obstacle on the floor. His control is utterly broken.
So why does this story stick with us? I mean, it's over 100 years old. It's because it is so much more than just a creepy horror story. This was a bombshell of social critique when it was written, and it still hits hard today.
I mean, think about everything it's doing. It's a direct shot at terrible medical treatments like the rest cure. It's a massive protest against a world that told women their thoughts and feelings didn't matter, that they were just being hysterical. And that wallpaper, it's become this perfect symbol for all the subtle, maddening rules and expectations that society used to box women in.
And you have to keep the date in mind, 1892. This wasn't some historical fiction. Gilman was writing about the world she was living in. A world where doctors, especially male doctors, were treated like gods, and where the idea of a woman having a rich, intellectual, or creative life was seen as, well, dangerous to her health.
Which brings us to the big, unsettling question the story leaves you with. Is this a tragedy? Did she lose everything? Or is it a victory? I mean, she broke free from her husband, from her illness, from the whole system that was crushing her. It came at a terrible price, for sure. But did she win? That's the question that kind of creeps along with you long after you finish reading.